Hello, all you nerds, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd BS. We are on episode 47. It is Sunday, the 27th of November. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I'm Alan, and I'm joined here by a couple cool guys. How you guys doing there?
Oh, well, I'm doing good, Alan. By the way, no, that was terrible. Wow. Okay, no.
You'll get it.
Hey, Alan. Fuck, dude, this feels really awkward for some reason. Hold on.
We're trying a new
We'll do
system
this
here,
again.
folks.
We'll do
We
this again.
try to make it more natural and
Yeah, this was
having
way
an
more.
adverse
Uh,
effect.
That's Tomas. He's stuck in a limbo right now.
All right. Fuck. It's going good, Alan.
You're getting the bloopers in the first minute of the episode.
All right. Well, I'm doing good, Alan. Hey, everybody. This is Tomas. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving as well. I hope this sounds normal. And yeah, it's been a quite a start to this episode. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to put my plugs in now, so I will.
No, you're not. You're fine.
no? Shit.
Go ahead. Oh my goodness.
So
We'll do those
this
plugs
is,
in a minute.
This is the result of trying to change one
Of just-
one thing.
You pull
And-
one Jenga block out and it's done.
It's over.
He's
Yeah.
crashed.
God bless all you.
I'm Kyle. By the way, I had a lovely Thanksgiving with the family. It was a very busy week because I was coaching basketball. Had 4 games during this week, so it didn't feel like a week off. But the Thanksgiving day itself was really nice. Lots of good food, and we host it, so I don't got to drive anywhere. Get to have a few
That-
drinks.
Yeah, we hosted for a long time as well. And it was really nice because you didn't have to go anywhere. It was an easy walk because we live kind of far. But this year we actually went and my sister in law hosted. And it was actually kind of nice because we stayed overnight to help cook and
Oh,
everything,
that's cool.
but we got to leave the next day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always kind of my thing about like hosting. It's nice because you don't got to go nowhere, but then you got to do all the cleanup.
The cleanup
And
is pretty
that's-
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll give
we
you
usually
that.
help clean up, but there's still there's always still
Yeah.
other stuff that
yeah.
you don't get everything. And the thing is whoever the host is, they got to live with it. Whatever's left in the
Mhm.
fridge and everything else. I mean, they got to live with that and figure out what to do with it. But it
That's
sounds
not
like
a
it was a
problem.
pleasant experience. Yeah, well, I know. I love Thanksgiving food. I just finished the last bit of our leftovers today. I was pretty excited. I love Thanksgiving food.
Leftovers.
There was like a joke going around recently that that people don't like Thanksgiving food because you only have once a year. So why don't why don't people have it more if they like it so much? But I disagree. I think it's amazing, and I look forward to it every year.
Yeah, what are
So-
you
Yeah,
talking
you know
about?
what?
I don't
actually saw this thing that was like, people trying to like tell people, oh, here's ways you can save money for Thanksgiving, and one of them was like, don't cook so much because you don't need so
Don't-
much.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually a good
that-
point.
Like,
Makes
and it's
sense.
like, yeah, that makes sense. Number one, and number two, though, I was thinking I was like, but what about leftovers?
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
hard.
we actually
Crown jewel.
specifically make more food because we want
Yeah.
leftovers.
Exactly.
So that's our we made 3 turkeys. We had one pre-cooked,
Wow.
one cooked in the oven, and one me and my brother-in-law actually smoked one out back. It was
many-
actually really cool.
How many people you got?
We got about 20
Oh, okay.
people. So
Yeah, that makes sense then.
yeah, so we
we
had 3. Yeah.
we don't have that many people anymore, and we actually did low key. Like we didn't even have. I think for the first time ever, we didn't even have mashed potatoes. So the way
Oh,
we
what?
did it, yeah, it was. I was like, yeah, I should have just got instant ones, but the way we did it this year was different than we've ever done it. So last year, my wife did everything, and she said never again.
It's
and it was
rough,
like-
man. It's
Yeah.
rough. I've watched my wife go
Yeah.
frazzled doing it.
Exactly. So she said, "I'll do the turkey if everyone else just brings a dish." Right? And we
Uh-huh.
had about 10 people.
Yeah,
So,
that's-
it's
that works.
good, but no one picked up mashed potatoes because we didn't make a
man.
list or anything.
Yeah, you
But it
got
was
to.
fine.
That's what you need. You
It-
got to do the list.
Like one person mentioned it. Yeah, we'll do that next time. We learned, but
Yeah.
like somebody mentioned it like after we're done eating. I was like, oh yeah, oh well,
Uh,
yeah, no
See,
biggie.
I-
Yeah.
See, I was on a really strict diet there for a while, and I still am pretty much on a pretty strict diet. But I've recently been able to have potatoes again. So I had mashed
Oh,
potatoes for the
nice.
first time in like 5 years.
Nice.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is great.
Yeah, I do love mashed potatoes though.
Yeah.
Uh,
Instead of doing that, Kyle, because we've had that issue too, where my wife went too frazzled doing it. But this time we just made sure that there was like 5 people there, so everybody's
Yeah,
helping.
yeah,
So more hands makes everything a little easier. So I think
yeah.
it ended up
That
being
works.
very smooth sailing though on our end. I was very happy because you never know with these holidays. You get 20 people in a room together who some of them haven't seen each other in quite a while. Things get brought up sometimes, and it
Oh,
causes issues.
sometimes.
Family drama
It's
is never
every
fun.
time.
Yeah,
It's
every
almost a
time.
guarantee.
I am saying right now we had like one issue, and it was just like a teenager. And it was a misunderstanding, and it was like it came and went so fast that it was like, okay, we're good. So it was very nice. It was like the only issue we had, which was
Back to eating.
yeah,
that
back to
sounds
eating
nice.
exactly. So it was wonderful. But
Good.
during this time, I like was shopping on my phone because Black Friday was happening the entire time. So I got to a point where I I told my wife, you need to take my phone away because I'm going to purchase things and I don't
Yeah.
want to anymore.
We're-
And I already spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what you guys get any good Black Friday deals or steals?
Ooh, steals.
Steals.
That's a good one.
I actually didn't look because I was waiting for tomorrow for Cyber Monday. I'll get online tomorrow and just go nuts.
I just assumed it was like it's just the whole thing, right? Like it's just like a bunch of days for shopping
I
now.
feel like it's just the week now, but
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that Tomas is right that there are going to be new deals tomorrow.
I'll have to check them out.
Yeah.
Or not. Actually, I may not need to check them out.
Yeah, good point. I got one deal. Well, I got a few. The one I remembered on Black Friday or on Thanksgiving or whatever was I got Sonic Frontiers for
Nice.
$30.
Yeah, it was on sale
Chip.
fast. Like I thought I got a good
Yeah,
deal on it, which I
it's never-
did, but it
You
was still
did.
like, yeah, it was on it quick.
It went on sale quick, and I never saw God of War go on sale yet.
Mm.
Which is
I thought for sure it would go down like $10
I thought-
at least,
I
something
thought
like
so
that.
too.
Mm.
But I mean, like Horizon did, Forbidden West that went on sale, but
Yeah.
that one's been out for a while.
A little
but
older, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see God of War, so I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Maybe closer to Christmas, they'll drop it $10.
I'm
whatever.
sure we'll get some more deals. Maybe Cyber
Gotham-
Monday. I mean, yeah, who
I
knows?
feel like
True.
I feel
I
like I
actually-
didn't see Gotham Knights on there either, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't feel like I saw Gotham.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm tabbed over on Amazon and I just realized it doesn't say Black Friday anymore. It says Cyber Monday. So I mean, I guess I'm
Yep.
already looking.
It shifted over because it's
not
midnight
even
on the East
midnight.
Coast.
Oh, okay, because midnight. on the East
Yeah.
Coast.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I think it was Black Friday earlier, and now it is 9:00. So that's midnight on the East Coast. So
Yeah,
that makes
we're
sense.
gonna look for a Keurig tomorrow. The thing that I
Ooh,
did
nice.
do is I did the Small Business Saturday, which I like never. I don't think I've ever really done.
I don't think I've ever done that.
Well, advertising, man.
Mhm.
A buddy of mine he runs a game store out of his garage in this city nearby, and so I stop by from time to time. You got to text him, make sure he's there, but he's typically open 9 to 5 every day.
Mhm.
But it's just him. So every once in a while I'll go by and he's not there. So, anyways, he advertised that he's having this huge sale for Small Business Saturday, and so I snuck over there on my way to. I was going to a basketball game, and I had like 20 minutes of spare time, and I was like, "Well, it's on the way." So I stopped, and he was having like buy one get one 50% off, buy two get two on all sorts of stuff. So I picked up some PS2 games. I got Odin Sphere on PS2, like a really
Mhm.
nice copy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got one called Sylphid: The Lost Planet, which is like a shoot 'em up kind of side scroller, but it's by Working Designs, which is like an RPG company for a long time. Anyways, I got that on sale, and then he was having 50% off Amiibos, and I just said, "I'll take your entire stock."
Oh
So
wow,
No,
nice.
I got 5. And
Oh, okay.
I'll
I
go
was
from
like,
least. Well, because actually, I think I left one. I got 6. So I'll go from least to greatest because it added up quick. The
Yeah.
prices. So I got Marth from Smash
Okay.
Bros.
Nice.
I got the golden Shovel Knight.
Nice.
Actually, this was the least one. King DDD from Kirby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was $5, I think. Then I got Princess Zelda from Twilight Princess.
Okay.
Then I got the Pikmin amiibo, but not the Captain
Ooh.
Olimar one. I got the
Okay.
one with like all like
Get the 3
coal
Pikmin
one.
on it.
It
Yeah, I got that one.
it has like 5. There's like a coal one, and it has the 3 and
Oh
then
yeah, it
2
does have like
random
5.
ones.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that existed. I'll take it.
Oh yeah, I grabbed it.
And
It came out with the DS game, the 3DS game.
Oh, okay. Hey Pikmin or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
I think I use amiibos never, but I do like them. And then
I don't use them very
crown-
often either, but I love them. I think they're just
I do
so
love
cool
them.
looking.
I
They're
do,
very
and I
good.
also love that they do have a second thing to do. Like they're compatible with games. So
Mhm.
I use the Zelda ones on Breath of the Wild, but my crowning jewel
Yeah.
that I found was Mega Man amiibo, but not just the regular old Mega Man, the 30th
gold one?
anniversary one. I already have the gold one.
Oh, okay.
This is the 30th anniversary one where he's like doing a pose.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like-
gotcha.
It's from Mega Man 11, and he was at $75, so marked off 50% off whatever that is. And I was like, "Yep, I'll take that."
Nice. Good.
So yeah,
Good
and
haul.
I felt like a little bit better, like supporting small businesses as
Mhm,
well,
of course.
not just giving all to the corporation. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah, that was were my pickups. I was pretty happy with those.
Yeah. I mean, did you get anything, Tomas? Before I
No, I
jump in?
didn't. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason I wanted to have my wife take my phone away, I bought a laptop. I went in for the
wow.
big haul. I'd been
Look
looking
at
at it for a
you.
while, and there was one that was on sale on Amazon Prime for the Black Friday stuff,
Mhm.
and it kept coming and going. And my brother-in-law is like a big computer expert,
Mhm.
and so we were like looking at it, and he's like, "Yeah, this is a really good deal. I mean, it's a little low in RAM, but it'd be pretty easy to add some RAM to it, so we
Mhm.
could, it'd be way more affordable to buy it this way." And so we kept looking at it, and then I finally said, "Okay, well, I'm going to get it." And I'd click the button and then I put it in my cart, and it's not there. So I was like, "Okay, I guess it's not there." Oh
Mhm.
well. And then like I keep looking because I'm a glutton for punishment, and it pops back up. So I was like, "Oh, it's back up." And so I show it to him. He's like, "Yeah, this is the same one." And he's like, "But if you want it, you better grab it right now because it's gonna go again." And
Yeah.
I mean, and so I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
So I did pull the trigger and I got it because I've been, like I said, I've been looking into one for a while. So I picked that up, and then also last week we were playing D&D and my mouse died and I couldn't charge it on my cord.
Yeah, I remember you were in the
Yeah.
middle of the session too. It sucked.
Yeah, so my son was kind enough to give me his mouse because I was kind of figured out, but then so I threw it away and I took the trash out the next day, and then my son comes out and starts trying to charge his brick, and he starts plugging it to the cord, and he's like, "Hey, this cord's not working," and I was just like,
no.
"Oh, I think I might have thrown away a good mouse then if I." So I bought a mouse as
no.
well to replace it, which I'm kind of bummed about because I was like, "Oh, I was so quick to just throw it away," because it was a pretty cheap mouse. It was. I think I bought it for like $10-15, and so I had something in my head that was already like, it's gonna die eventually. Like I'm
What
not
brand was
expecting
it?
this thing to last long. It was like V or something, RII. It was some off
Oh,
brand.
okay.
Yeah, it was something that was pretty, like, it was sketched to begin with. So I didn't think it was gonna last very long. So when it died, it was not a surprise. I was like, okay, whatever, it's dead. This makes sense. I'll buy another one. But then when all that happened, I was like, okay, well, I guess it may have not been dead. And so now I just have to buy a mouse.
It's
Oh, well.
funny that you mentioned that because the mouse I'm currently using, I got on Black Friday, and it's a Logitech, and I think I got it like 10 years ago, dude. And it's
Yeah.
still running strong, and I got it for like $10 on a Black Friday.
Yeah, I got a Razer this time, so I actually got a brand named one. So we'll see how long it lasts, and maybe this time I'll actually
With
attempt to
something like
plug it in
that,
more.
with the mouse where you need it to be like precise,
Yeah.
and on like
And
I've
also
gone through
that one was
keyboards like
dying
crazy.
all the time. It was actually bothering me because it would work. It would only work for so long, and then it would just eventually die. pretty quickly compared to what I'm used to these old Logitech mice that I'm actually using right now. The one my son has, you put 2 AA's in there, or one. I think it's 1 AAA actually, and it just never dies.
I got one.
It lasts forever. I think I've replaced it once, and I've had it for 5 years.
Same. I'm very impressed. Logitech probably put themselves out of business making such a good product.
So I didn't get a Razer though this time. It is a chargeable. I don't really like getting ones with batteries in them anymore if I can help it, but still. So whatever. I think I got that and an SD, a little micro SD card as well, because for my backups of my 3DS, I have a little 32 gig one. So I was like, I'm gonna get something a little beefier for that.
Do you guys know that Xbox controllers still use batteries? They just have a battery pack.
I dog on Brian all the time about it. Brian, who's been on the show before. Every time, because we play Destiny together all the time. So every time his controller dies, I'm like, oh, gotta go to the 7-Eleven, get yourself some AA's.
Yeah. There's
there's tons
of rechargeable out there, but I still think in the year 2022, the year of our Lord, it is what are we doing, Microsoft? It's not gonna update that?
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but Xbox fanboys, they will defend it, until their dying breath. Yeah,
they need to update that ASAP.
It's definitely a weird thing, because it's always interesting when I pull out Wiimotes or something and I have to put AA's in them. I'm just batteries. When I borrowed those guitar controllers from you, and I was like, oh crap, I got to put batteries in these. So I forgot about that.
What are batteries? Yeah.
So it's always interesting now. It just pulls me away a little bit. Bringing me back to some old times of needing batteries all the time. But at least usually they last quite a while. Anyways, well, if we don't got any more deals from the Black Friday, I think we can move into Tomas's favorite section, the plugs. You want to lead it off there, Tomas?
Well, I don't know if it's my favorite section. I'm just really good at it. So my Twitter is @TomasFDiaz. It's the same as Instagram. Oh wait, sorry, it's @TomasFDiaz86. See, now you got me messing up.
I'm sorry, my fault. I don't know what I did.
That's the same as my Instagram. My website is tomasfdiaz.com. Please go there. I put short stories up there. I put another short story up this week. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and you could find me at Skybossin Video Games. That's Skybossin _ video games on Instagram. And that's where you're on that.
And as long as Twitter is still not sunk, I've been going down with the ship.
Oh, it's not going anywhere.
At Scad Matrix. We also have our own, if you want to contact all of us at our Nerd Backstory podcast, we have at nerd_BS on Twitter, nerdbackstory@gmail.com. And if you want to get a hold of our Discord, I put a new link in every description along with all this other information down in the description. And you can join our Discord there. And if that link doesn't work for whatever reason, make sure on the current episode or just contact any of us, I think, on any of these platforms. I'm sure somebody will get you in. That's where we talk about most things as they're going on. So
true.
It could be real fun to discuss some crazy nerd topics here and there.
Hey, before we move on, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but I just want to know, just okay, you can say yes or no. Are you following the Elon Twitter story?
Yeah, I've been following it. Yes,
it's kind of nerdy, I guess, but I'm a little tired of following it, because there's a guy on YouTube I watch, and he usually just does a widespread thing of pop culture, but it's been like every other video is just about Twitter and Elon. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Just it's got to die down soon, right? Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
I mean, when he spent a lot of money on that, and whenever you spend that much money on something,
so
in the limelight for a while.
The problem is what kind of is going on, and I'm probably all following it, but it's a big deal right now, and it's because Twitter has kind of become the main connection for people and even corporations. And so a lot of the stuff he's doing is affecting politicians and corporations and businesses and people and influence. It's dragging, there's nowhere else to go besides Twitter right now that has that type of reach.
Right.
Yeah,
Which
and
I
that's the
think
issue.
maybe it would be. I mean, like I said, we don't got to get into it. Maybe it'd be a good thing to just be gone with it, so that if it's that big, then it probably should have been split up a while ago.
I
You
mean,
know?
Well,
I
the
mean, it's
problem is
big
with
enough.
Twitter is because it's so open, it hasn't. I don't think Twitter's ever made a profit, which is why, like, which is
No,
why
they're
it was so
probably losing
weird.
money.
Yeah, which is
Well,
why it's so weird that Elon was interested in purchasing it.
yeah, Twitter itself never really made a lot of profit up until it finally sold to Elon because once again, how much was it? Some kind of
I think it was
it was,
44
it was
billion.
$44
yeah,
billion, an amount of
yeah.
money that almost no one will ever see in their
Never
lifetime.
been seen. Like that's a transaction that's never been seen. So like there's that. So that's gonna keep it in the limelight. And then also there's the fact that Twitter right now is a big everything that's happening around it right now is a big also issue for freedom of speech. There's a lot of arguments around it, and also how he handles it, how he handles his business and stuff is
Yeah.
so
I mean,
I think there are some current issues there. But I do understand what you're saying too, Kyle. I don't feel like it's necessarily newsworthy. I feel like there's more important things
not
that are happening.
anymore. I think it's
But
like whatever's going to happen just needs to happen.
yeah,
But it was for a while, but it's been like a
yeah.
few weeks, so
But
it's like let's
I
move
feel like
on.
there's bigger and better things to focus on. For
Yeah.
example, the
Uh,
land war in Europe. But that's me personally.
I don't know. It depends. I guess it depends on what bubble you're in as well. I mean, if you're watching YouTube videos, you're probably going to have
Mhm.
that be a big part of it for the simple fact that that
Hmm.
is how most people. I mean, that's the primary way we try to
Mhm.
put our name out there right now is through Twitter,
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
which is a lot of the stuff. So a lot of the stuff he's implementing as well as or threatening to implement is going to essentially make um, smaller things like us not really come up on anybody's. Like we try to put our name out there, but I mean we're one in a million of a podcast. You know, there's a ton of podcasts out there you listen to. So if you listen to this one, that's amazing. But the odds are most people aren't listening to this one, and it's hard to get your
But
name out there.
but
And
the
that's
thing is, but the
and
thing is
yeah,
for him, that's a foolish. It's a foolish marketing plan because Twitter is a social media. It is based on the people. It is based on having enough content from all around and this many people, and that's what makes Twitter Twitter. And so I also think that there's a point where I'm kind of like willing to just watch and see what happens because if it burns, then I feel like there will be other ways to get your name at
something
least
else
out
will
there.
come and take its place for
But
sure.
yeah,
It's just a matter of what. There's a
and
couple that are being talked about, a lot of big names on Twitter that
yeah,
have lost their check marks and everything because it doesn't matter anymore.
yeah.
Which I
It
kind of like. I never liked that
uh,
system.
Well,
I liked that system, and the reason why it works is it makes it so nobody can essentially make
just
troll
post whatever they
accounts
want.
and post
Yeah,
whatever they want, saying that they are you, which is the whole
I
premise of it.
guess. I mean,
And which
because
is
you
I
why,
never
yeah,
got into
because
the whole Twitter. I think it's ruining the world.
but
Honestly.
you have seen
I
those things like you have seen those things. For example, like was it Kimmel? Was someone made a fake account for Kimmel and
Nintendo
went
somebody
on?
made a fake account for Nintendo.
Yeah, they did a
I
whole
Yeah,
mean,
bunch.
yeah,
and
yeah. There's a bunch of them.
They went
that's
crazy.
You can find videos about them, or you can even look them up yourself. I'm sure you'll
but I
see
will say
quite a few.
But I will say there's also been good effects of that, such as I can't remember his name, but the guy who made insulin so effing
Yeah,
expensive.
it was kind of it put it on the fire for a bit. It showed off
Yeah.
that the patent for insulin, if you didn't know, was actually given away for free, so that way people could
Mhm.
have insulin. Was essentially been prioritized by a company, and make we pay way more for insulin here than anywhere else in the world.
It's
It's kind
so
of a really big
stupid.
deal because it's basically life or death for
He
a lot of
infuriates
people.
me. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I knew we would go off on
But
this topic, but
I know it's really. I know I'm trying to pull off of it. It's a pull off
so
of it
I
because There's so
Yeah,
much information out there if you
yeah.
really want to watch it. I watch Internet Today, which has been a great source if you're really curious. They talk about it, but they've been talking about it like every time pretty much. And they make jokes as well, like you're saying. It is getting kind of ridiculous, and people are getting annoyed because it is every day that something else is happening with Twitter. And it's just that's the problem, though. It is a big deal, and it is newsworthy.
It honestly hasn't affected my life personally
Yeah.
at all. Like,
Yeah.
so it's just wild to see how much people get upset about it, and it affected quite a few people who lost jobs and all that. But like me personally, I'm just like, okay, it was fun. It hasn't affected me at all, so I'm trying to move on.
The only thing I could say that has actually been pretty good about the whole process is this kind of has been shining light on a lot of these things, a lot of these little social issues. So it's been enjoyable to see, because the only people who I think have legitimately lost things by this is large corporations that have lost these billions of dollars investment because of this stuff.
I can't be too mad at that.
Yeah. And something else will rise, whether it be Mastodon or there's another one too that people keep talking about. Mastodon is from what I've understood, a pretty big mess to get into.
I'm sure it is.
And then there's another one that's just kind of glitchy because it's brand new. I can't remember. I think it's Rise. I don't remember. It's something new.
That are
there's quite a few of them.
To win.
Yeah. But a couple of them, like for instance, like Mastodon's been around for a while. A lot of people have talked about it, and a lot of people have attempted to switch over. But I mean, they can't do what Twitter did. I mean, Twitter had enough money to keep going. But anyways, I'm gonna back off of this. I'm already running a tangent here, so let's pull back.
We went off a big old one there.
Yeah.
I appreciate it though. Thanks for humoring me.
Let's get to the stories.
Yeah, we'll get to this. We'll get something interesting. Like, did you guys know that Christmas is coming soon? I don't know if you guys knew this.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
My neighbors have a giant light on their house. It has a countdown.
Do you have the skeleton in your complex at all yet? The 20-foot skeleton?
Oh yeah. We had one for Halloween.
Did you have a 20-foot one?
Yeah, dude. It went up to the second story window.
Oh man, did you know? Those things are great, and I love that. Some people, you had to actually inject like this UV stuff into the bones who was creating it, because people were leaving it up all year long and just redecorating it for the holidays, like redecorating the giant skeleton, which is awesome. Yeah, exactly. Where are you going to store it? Dude, taking it apart's got to be a nightmare.
You could roll that thing up to a second story window and make someone pee their pants.
Of course.
Because the eyes turn on and they're like LED.
They're like LED lights. Yeah, they're LED screens.
And the eyes move around and stuff. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
we have one. And my kids, surprisingly, were like, oh, that's cool. My
it is.
Like, yeah, oh, okay. Like, really? Because I'm a little creeped out. Like, nothing should be taller than Daddy, and that's too far.
If I had anybody that would see it at that time of year, I would want to get one. I mean, they are like $300, I think. $300.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Something ridiculous.
But
and they sell it immediately too at Home Depot, from what I've understood.
I'll have to see if they decorate it. That's pretty funny.
I'm very curious.
Last year we had a competition in the neighborhood because we have HOA, and I went all out, and I did so much work, and I can't tell you, like, I just need like a better ladder or something. And I thought I did a bang up job, but you don't really know until night falls, and then you flip on the switch and you're like, oh, that's it. It's like, that's all 7 hours of work, and that's what it looks like. And I didn't place.
Yeah, there's people who pay to get it done too, so they don't have to worry about it as much.
I'm telling you, if I had a scissor lift or even just a decent ladder, and so this year I don't even know if I'm going to get around to it. I'm just like,
I got really excited when I first moved into my place and did it a couple of years, and then I stopped doing it because I don't really live next to anybody, so it's like it's just us. But it is nice when you get to drive home and get to see the lights for a bit.
True.
But that was my segue towards the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special that just came out.
What?
I know. It just came out, I think, probably right after, I don't even know what date anymore, but we watched it with my family because we wanted something to watch. And I was like, I want to watch something But I don't really watch a show because I want to watch another episode. I don't really watch a movie either because that's like an hour and a half time.
That's a commitment. Yeah.
That's a commitment. So let's put on this 45-minute Christmas special. So it's like right in the middle.
Does it have the whole cast? Does it have?
Yeah, the entire cast from Guardians reprise their roles. It's actually really good. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun. It's nothing super exciting. Like it's not like Guardians 3 or anything like that. It's a little story set in the Guardians universe that's very well made, and it's just nice. It's just an enjoyable, heartfelt Christmas special, but in the Marvel universe. So it's really fun. I really enjoyed it, and it's very humorous. So I highly recommend everybody just go check it out if you want to get into the Christmas spirit.
Let me ask you this.
Sure.
Can it, I mean, and this may be rhetorical because we know nothing will, but did it top the Star Wars Christmas special that we all know and love to be the supreme Christmas special?
The supreme Christmas special. Yes, I would say it's much more enjoyable than the Star Wars Christmas special.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I've watched that once, and I know you're just having fun, but I watched it once, and it is rough.
Having a gaffe?
I think you're having a gaffe. You know where I watched that? The entirety of it? So what was funny is I did download it a long time ago. This is the only way to get it was like pirating. So I finally got a copy of it. And I had it on my laptop. And it was a long time ago, and something happened when we were driving on our way home, and we got stuck in traffic, essentially. And we had to wait for whatever tow truck to deal with whatever was going on. And we were just stuck there. We had blankets. We had to sit there for like 2 hours. And so I pulled out my laptop and we watched the Star Wars Christmas special while we waited. And it was something to do.
It was glorious. I don't think I finished it. I don't think I've ever made it through the entirety of that one.
Not worth it. I'm sure you can find like the highlights of the clips. Like the only thing that's even worth anything is like the first Boba Fett appearance.
Oh yeah. That was so random though too. Have you seen it, Tomas?
I've seen bits of it. I don't think I've watched it all the way through.
The creepy old man with the hollow. Like, wait a minute, dude, what is this?
And then the Wookiees talking, but they don't give you any subtitles.
Nope subtitles. Yeah,
and there's like an entire a full scene, like a good 3 to 5 minutes of just Wookiees talking. You're like, what? Is something? Did they forget something? It's wonderful.
It's interesting. It's definitely interesting, and it's definitely peak Star Wars hype, I guess. At the time, they were just waiting for the next movie.
It's almost on par with the Mario Brothers live action movie.
Yeah, I would argue that's. Wait, what?
Who? You got to be careful with who you give your stuff to.
I guess.
Yeah.
I love that Mario Brothers universe. I really wish we'd get more of it. There's like a whole
a holiday special. That would have been great.
Oh yeah,
that's what it should have been.
They should have done that. Yeah, for sure.
I do like that movie too. I would rewatch the Mario Brothers.
I love that movie, and if you really want to go down a weird rabbit hole, there's actually like a fan made comic book of
course
you can find online that was supposed to be like the sequel script that was leaked. Written up as a comic book.
I mean, the documentary of the making of that movie is pretty fun too.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
They all knew it was not going to be.
Oh yeah, from what I understood, most of the cast wasn't even sober.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just for most of production. Yeah,
they were all like just completely wasted through the entire production. I don't know how they did it that well because it was supposed to be super hot too when they were doing it because a lot of the suits and everything that were going on. But anyways, so moving on to another thing that came up. We talked about last week, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and how we were very excited for it. Well, there's been a lot of buzz going around. I don't know if you guys have been watching this buzz.
I haven't been watching it. No,
it's been pretty crazy. The amount of, basically, to sum it up with a nice little bow, Game Freak did not optimize the game. Is what happened. They did not.
Yeah, I did.
They didn't do it, And it's sad because it's like you're only making it for one console. It's not like you're porting it to other consoles. You have one piece of hardware to work with. Like there's no, there doesn't seem like there should be an excuse at that point. Like you're only using one bit of hardware. You are the biggest, and I'm gonna stamp this in, the biggest multimedia company. Like they make the most money out of all franchises, Pokemon in general.
Yes.
It's just massive. And they're gonna come out with a game, a headliner game in their franchise with this many, problems and running this poorly.
So
It's just it's pretty rough.
what I hear you're saying is that they've adopted the EA mentality.
Yeah, it feels like that.
Just
They've
a big
adopted
F you.
mentality.
So
So what they're gonna do is just send out patches, right? That's their idea.
yeah, I think the idea is they're going to be sending out patches. But it's really rough.
That's every game company now. It's so frustrating.
It's really rough around the edges. Trust me. I showed my friend, my brother-in-law. I was playing it, and I just looked. I tilted the screen, and in the background, you could see the windmill in the background that was not that far away, and it was going 5 frames a second. And I was like, that shouldn't be a thing. And he actually went to school to make games, and he was just like, that just looks awful. And I was like, this
Major League Gaming. That's what I hear.
This is like a AAA biggest franchise game.
Yeah.
And it is barely holding it together at 30 frames most of the game.
Let me play devil's advocate a little bit. And this is coming from a non-Pokemon fan, someone that's never played it. But from what I've heard, first of all, I feel like the last ones came out not that long ago. What was it, 3 years ago?
They've the mainline been coming. Ones? Okay, so it's been a mainline and then a remake. So Sword and Shield came out 2 years ago, and then the Platinum remake, not Platinum, Diamond and Pearl came out last year, and then this is.
But then also, and I know they got several sub teams. I'm sure. Actually, I don't know, but they did Arceus. As well.
Arceus came out earlier this year, I think. Actually,
right. And from what I've heard, this current one, Violet and Scarlet, is a change of pace as far as open world, mainline's Pokemon goes.
I wanted to bash it hard at the beginning here because I'm gonna do a 360 here or 180 or whatever because the game's freaking amazing at the same time. It's so hard to hate it because they're fixing so many things that I've had issues with. The menu system's awful. I'll give you that. I cannot remember what button does what going through the menus, which really is terrible for a game that you relies on you go into menus so much. But the open world is incredible. I've never played a Pokemon game like this. It's really disheartening when you're doing all this exploring. And I've not been this addicted because I played Sword and Shield and I enjoyed Sword and Shield.
Oh man,
I kind of fell off towards the end. Because I was like, whatever. It never hooked me. I was just going through it with my son. This one, I'm hooked. I'm having a great time. I'm having a super fun time, but I keep seeing the little performance issues.
Right.
So it's very frustrating because this is the next step for Pokemon.
And that's my argument, right? They actually took the next step, whereas, to go back to my analogy, I know I was joking earlier, but with EA, they're just copying and pasting a lot of stuff with their games. And, look at the sports games, because I kind of compare this to sports games with how many they come out with. It's almost every year.
That's a good comparison. The only thing I would say is I think you're right. They're making new games each time, whereas a sports game, a lot of it I think is, I don't want to say copy paste because it's not copy paste. That's way too simplistic. But it's definitely taking a lot of the same stuff and a lot of the same assets. The next one.
Yeah, there's been some argument with FIFA that it's just copy and paste. And then charging full price. But anyways, I give credit to this game because maybe that's where the glitches are coming from. They're like, let's try something new, and they went, "Oh man, we've never done this before." So
so you're making a valid point, and that's exactly. I was kind of going to pivot into that eventually. It may not be Game Freak's fault. It may be the Pokemon Company, and the reason I say this is because there has been some stuff going around, and maybe it's not legit. I don't know, but the idea is that they basically have to make a new game every year for the fact that it's reliant on the game to do the card game, the anime. Everything is reliant. So basically, when they do a next generation, it all rolls out at the same time. But video games are much more complicated. And it seems like Game Freak this game is very ambitious. This game is doing things that Pokemon has never done before. It's a fully open world game. I'm not lying. It's fully open world.
It's like Breath of the Wild status.
It's like Breath of the Wild. Yes, it's like Breath of the Wild. You can go anywhere. And as soon as you upgrade your mount thing, you can just I was just climbing over mountains and crap, just going all over the map. Like there's nothing that holds you down. It's actually pretty incredible. And I actually got stuck going to the wrong gym. That was my one thing that was kind of annoyed, because I was like, I really wish they would tell you which way to go, because they don't tell you. And so you gotta figure it out.
That's where, Anyway,
that's where you have a son who has the Thanksgiving break, and he goes through the game and tells you which is the easiest gym versus the hardest gym.
The tables have churned. Padawan has become the master.
Yeah, so it's been interesting. We've been having a great time with it, but that's what I was getting at. Is like I really love this game, but it sucks that it has so many graphical problems.
I mean, it's surprising that they let it get released like that too. I know it's not Nintendo, but they seem to have a good enough relationship that where it's like,
you think. Yeah, because now there's like these rumors that Nintendo are giving refunds on it, but I don't think that's exactly true. The stuff I've been hearing about, it sounds like they're normal. Everybody gets one policy. I don't know if you've ever used your everyone gets one policy from Nintendo, but basically if you purchase a game, so if you purchase you haven't heard of this, if you purchase a game digitally from Nintendo and you call them and you complain that you had bought it under false pretenses, or my son bought it for me, or anything, or I bought it and I didn't like it, or I bought it on accident, or whatever.
Yeah.
You basically have a policy that everybody gets one. If you've never returned a game before, they will return the game for you, but they will specifically tell you, we will not do this again.
Your account has been flagged.
Yeah, your account is basically flagged. And the reason I know that's true is because I did it once a long time ago. And like 2 or 3 years later, I tried to do it again. I called back in and they said, no, you've actually already done this once, so you can't do it again.
We're actually watching you right now.
Yeah. So,
put the sandwich down.
Like everybody gets one is basically the premise. So that's what I've been hearing people saying in the refunds, but that's what but the dialogue that's gone with it, it sounds like it's the same thing. They'll do it, but if you haven't done it before. So
yeah, and I haven't heard that as many complaints as you guys are saying with the glitches. I've been hearing
about it. I live in that bubble right now, so
but most people are like, "Oh, I'm loving it," despite
Yeah, it's really fun. It is really fun. I will not deny. They had an Eevee event this week, and that was really cool. That I don't know if you guys did, or Tomas really did the little raids in Sword and Shield.
In Sword and Shield, I don't remember if I did them. I don't think I did.
Okay, so they brought them back, and it's basically a very similar premise. So it's you can get people together or play online with other people, or play with your friends and do these online events, and it's really fun. So those are back, and the Eevee event was basically they have this new thing. It's like a sub. It's called terraforming, and basically, or terra something, and basically it'll turn your Pokemon into a specific type, a pure version of that type. And it's so this event they had basically Eevees that you could get of all those types. So I was able to collect all of them. So that was really cool. We have a Charizard event coming up that's going to be a Charizard with a Dragon type, which will be interesting. And Charizard's technically not in the game currently, so this will be the only way to get him. So it's they're doing a lot of cool stuff, and also in Sword and Shield you could play together in like the open areas, but in this game you can play together in the entire map. So you can just do
gyms,
but with a big old caveat that's where the biggest graphical issues come from what I've understood. That's like where the game starts running like really bad. So
can you do gyms together?
I don't know if you could do gyms together. I don't think so, but you could definitely go around and do like the raids and just cruise around together. There's not a whole lot to do from what I've understood together. Okay. I hope they add some more things to do. That'd be nice, but you can get up to 4 people in one world, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so I'm really hoping they get I hope they get some updates, but people are starting to stress that this might just be the Switch's limitations starting to come out.
Yeah.
Where it just can only do so much, and they
Yeah.
might be pushing it.
Probably.
Maybe.
They're probably on spot on with that. I still love that stupid thing.
Yeah, I
Oh, yeah,
do as well.
I totally forgot. I got LA Noir for Switch because I
Oh,
never
yeah?
played that game, and I got the bug. I really want to play it. So
Oh, good. Yeah, I enjoyed that game. I never beat it, but I got really far in it. I remember really enjoying it on Xbox a long time ago.
yeah, so total side tangent there. I forgot because it was like the cart only. I didn't get the case with it, so
Yeah.
I almost inhaled it and I lost. Could have been gone forever.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I still love that machine. But it's
a great machine.
You play the PS5, you definitely feel it when you go back to the Switch.
Oh
You're
yeah,
like,
you will. And there's still games I would get for it. There's the Tactics Ogre game that came out. I put that on my like Christmas list thing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But I specifically said I wanted it for Switch.
I want to get the Mario Rabbids sequel.
Yeah, I haven't played that one yet. I haven't beat the first one yet, so I haven't really looked into getting that one yet. But yeah, Sonic Frontiers runs pretty well on the Switch, from what I've heard. I haven't played it on the Switch, but I've been playing the PS5. But I've been hearing it runs pretty good on the Switch. I did, but I got it. We got it for both, so I've been mainly playing the PS5.
Oh, okay.
But it's very good. I just wanted to give an update. That's really good. I've put a lot of time into it. I haven't finished it because Pokemon came out, so I've been meaning to go back and wrap it up. But I would argue that it's probably the best 3D Sonic game I've played, which is not saying a whole lot because most 3D Sonic games aren't that great. But but yes, ever. Yes, I would argue it's better than the Adventures games because the Adventure games, if you've gone back to them, they're not that great. They're pretty
really hard.
shaky.
They're really hard to control.
And that is still in place in Sonic Frontiers. Every once in a while, something happens. Like, oh, it's a Sonic game. That's right. I forgot.
Come on, Sonic. We're giving you so many chances. Like, how have you not figured out the control? Like, Mario got it from day one. Like, controls are his game.
It's the speed, man. I think it's just the speed. They can't figure out how to like make it control well. Maybe, I don't know because I get stuck all the time on weird little obstacles because of the way the controls are.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just he's a 2D guy. He can't branch off to 3D.
I don't know. Mario. It is still really fun. The worlds are really fun to run through. There's lots of little nooks and crannies all over the place. Each continent is the same. You're just rinse and repeating each one. It seems like it's just do more things, do more of the same stuff. So it's nothing like crazy different each one besides just a different area.
I'm looking forward to giving it a shot.
It's fun.
And
I would enjoy it.
Switch, so we'll see. I'll let you know how it runs.
I've heard it runs well because I looked it up and I've heard it's stuck at it's hard stuck at 30 frames, but from what I've understood, it still runs pretty well. I mean, it's not going to be as pretty, but it's going to be functional.
Yeah,
which is good.
I'd rather. That's not.
Which is what you expect though on a Switch game, a Switch port.
Yeah,
you
but
expect that.
The Switch thing is that I get games done because I could just carry it around with me.
Portably do it. Yeah.
And especially with like LA Noir, I won't be able to play that when the kids are around unless I kind of just sit in the corner on my Switch. I got my headphones on. And I'm watching the kids, right? And I got one earbud in, and I'm watching the kids listening, and I'm playing, examining these dead bodies. So don't mind me, kids.
Oh, fun. Yeah. This would be a good game. Definitely Sonic Frontiers would be a great game to just pick up and do like a couple things and put down. It's definitely has that going for it for sure.
Nice.
So I think we have a little God of War update real quick. Sounds like it's going to be a quick one because we don't want any spoilers.
Yeah, I beat it. It's good.
All right. Sounds great. That wasn't 30 seconds, but that's okay.
It's really, 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 really.
All right, that's.
Let me ask you this: one question: is it Game of the Year for you? If we were doing Game of the Year stuff.
Oh yeah, I still feel like Elden Ring. Has Game of the Year. But this definitely could give it a run for its money. It might win. I could see some circles being like, "Oh, this was Game of the Year."
Gotcha.
Some of the effects on it, man, visually, it was pretty mind blowing. It really was.
Cool. I'm looking.
Okay, cool. You know what? I'm gonna turn that into my soapbox for a second because I have a question for you guys, and I'm gonna do a discussion here. Yeah, we're moving to soapboxes. That was a great segue.
That was
Anyways,
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was rolling.
do you
I
guys
was
feel? Do you guys feel that exclusives should be
Oh, boy.
game of the year,
This
or do you
is-
feel like it needs to be multi-platform, or do you think there
Oh.
should be game of the years for specific consoles?
Oh.
Because
okay.
is it
No, that's
fair
a
that
good
a game
question.
is game of the year that's only on one console, so some people can't even experience it?
Okay, so high school me, teenage me would have said, yes, it's totally fair. If you don't have the better system, pony up the money.
Interesting.
But mature me is gonna say, and I know that's with a grain of salt, but
Yeah.
is gonna say,
Dang it.
I think that if you want to claim to be the best in the industry, then you have to be able to go up against everyone in the industry. So
What
you
could
can't be game of the year if not everyone can play you.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
But that could be argued as like, does that mean it's like you'd have to make it free at that point?
Well, no, it means that you sell it on every system.
Oh, so
because that will, because what I'm saying is for example, if I was to be like, you remember when Halo came out for Xbox back in the day? Like if I was to be like, oh, Halo is game of the year by far, yada yada. But then someone on PlayStation was like, yeah, but have you tried? I'm trying to think of something that competed with Halo.
Competed
like
with
during Halo's
during
time?
Halo on PlayStation 2? I don't think anything competed directly with Halo. Maybe like SOCOM.
What about
that's pretty big.
Yeah, Counter-Strike.
What about Gears of War? Did it? I feel like
that was also on Xbox, but I don't. That was way after
later.
though. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, let's just. It doesn't really matter. You take a game, game A. Let's just go like that. You take a game, game A. If you can play game A on only the Xbox, then it really can't be said that it's the best game out there.
But on PC. Halo 1 came out on PC, like around the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I didn't mean to pop your bottle, but I understand what you're saying. You're saying basically, if it can't be played by everybody on the current hardware, the current generation, it can't be a contendant for Game of the Year as an overall. All right, Kyle, what were you trying to say? You were bumping in there.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of things to say. This is a really good question, actually, because I've never gone down this road. I think your question kind of leads to another one of like, do we just end up going to one box that plays it all, right? And then the different companies are just producing the software for it, which I think is what we're leading to.
That seems to be what Xbox or Microsoft is attempting to do.
Yeah, you have the box, whatever it's going to be, and then the companies, Sony's just now software. Everyone just turns to what Sega did. Sega just makes games now. Right, and then
so are you saying this is going to be like a Netflix thing where you like log on and go?
Well, that does
play a game from Xbox, so I choose the Xbox section and play a game.
I mean, yeah, I guess I don't know exactly how it would be, but something like that, right? I think that's what it's leading towards. But to go back to your original question, to not go off the tangent too much,
sorry,
I will disagree with Tomas. I think yes, exclusives can be game of the year. Because I guess I agree with you with your high school, Tomas.
High school,
which is like it's not like. I mean, I guess awards are so subjective, anyways, and we each will have probably a different game of the year, anyways. Yes. Even if we've all played the same games, but you guys don't have an opportunity to play Halo Infinite like I do, right? Yeah. So like that's not even in your category, which it takes away from the game because you guys didn't get an opportunity. So it almost like loses points for itself. It just hurts itself, in my opinion. But I think, yes, it could still be game of the year because it's just subjective. Like, for those that do have the capability to do it, I played that one. I like that one better. But it just hurts itself because it's stuck on one console.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm I'm with Kyle on this one. Actually, I do think that an exclusive can be game of the year. But it would be nice. I don't know. Maybe they do it, but it would be nice to have like a category of game of the year for each individual console as well.
That would be cool.
For exclusives,
Yeah.
just to be kind of give some shout outs, baby. But I think at some point, if you start going into too many semantics of where it's able to be played, it starts becoming an issue because there's just too many options to play games. I mean, like
Right.
how far do you go? Do you have a section for Android games? Do you have a section
then-
for
Yeah.
the
Apple
VTech
Arcade,
or something? Yeah.
VR.
But then
know.
that's my argument. But then that's my argument for why it should be on every platform is because it's really not hard to put it on every platform.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to compete,
It's pretty hard. I mean, maybe like PlayStation and Xbox, yeah, they're close enough that I think it's probably fine. Wouldn't be too difficult. But when you start going to like the Switch, yeah, that's a whole other can of
It's
worms.
always Nintendo. It's always Nintendo. They're always dogging it, and so every time you got to port, just look at like all those Spider-Man games that came out during 360, PS3 that got ported to Wii. You could just go look at a YouTube video. You don't even need to look. You don't even need to watch the video. Just look at the screenshot, and you're like, "Oh, that looks terrible." Like how many files did they have to take out to make that fit on the Wii?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I'm with Alan on that one. It's really Nintendo's fault because it's not hard to give it to the PC. PC is probably easier to port it to, but
there's a lot of PC games that never get even noticed for Game of the Year because they're on PC. Yeah, so that happens quite a bit as well.
Yeah,
but that's just an interesting thing I was thinking about.
Can you port it to my smart TV on my refrigerator? Right, because that's the only console I got now.
That's the only console I have is the TV.
We don't have that. We were a little skeptical that the TV might try to murder us in our sleep. The refrigerator, I should say.
I'd be a little nervous about something like that too. Like, is it learning?
Have you seen those? You've seen
it is technically it is learning.
Yeah, I've seen ones that like learn and shit. Like it's like
they do learn.
You're out of eggs.
Some of them, they tell you like when you're out of eggs and shit like that. So they do kind of learn. But anyways,
don't they also have one like where it like you can put in who you are and it will suggest like what you should have according to who you are, what your likes
like
are,
BMI and stuff. Like, hey,
possibly if you like linked it up with your phone because it's like a Samsung fridge. So if you looked up like your Samsung Health app, there might be something to sync it up. But I have no clue.
I don't know. Though. I don't ate pizza bacon today, and so and then my kids see me yelling at a refrigerator, and then I got to explain to them why
Daddy fights the refrigerator.
Just open the door.
I want the bacon. It's my house.
I pay for this.
I own you, fridge. Anyways, all right, Tomas. What do you got for yours?
Tomas' soapbox is about robot slavery.
Apparently, Skynet.
Skynet.
No, my soapbox is about a different fantasy series. Mine is about actually Lord of the Rings. So I sat down over Thanksgiving and I watched the Lord of the Rings Rings of Power series on Amazon.
Yes.
I wanted to like it, even with the parts that went way off of what actually happened in the Silmarillion and stuff. I still wanted to like it, but there were some contradictions with characters that I didn't like. Galadriel, Kyle, I kind of noticed what you were talking about. Galadriel goes from Jason Bourne to Mrs. Doubtfire, depending on the different episodes.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one, but yeah,
she's very compassionate and wants to take care of you one episode, and the next episode she's like, "I want to stab you in the face." Like it's like, wow, okay,
yeah.
So yeah, and also, I heard that there's supposed to be another 5 seasons to this thing. I don't know if that's true. I really hope it's not true. I haven't looked into it, so this is
On
just what I've
purpose?
heard. Yeah, because I don't want to. I don't want to know if that's actually true. Like so I don't know. It was too much talking. You already know the story. And so if your characters are going to talk that much, they have to talk about something that you have no idea what they're talking about. So that way you're like, "Oh wow, what's going to happen then? Oh wow, what's over here? Oh wow." And instead, you're talking about a story that all of us have either seen or read. And it's like, I know exactly what's going to happen. Why are you
Yeah.
acting like this is a mystery?
Yeah.
Like,
They blew it on that one.
yeah, so they tried to make it in my humble opinion, they tried to make it like a mystery instead of an action movie, an action series. It should have been an action series because there was no mystery. We know what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That was weird. And they like we everybody knew who the bad guy was going to be
yeah,
at the end.
yeah. It's like I guess it was kind of cool because you were kind of trying to guess which of the characters was going to be
Uh,
him.
but it was they
But
didn't do good at all with that.
yeah, but at a certain point, you're just like,
Oh,
I think it's that one.
I'm pretty sure it's that one. Like three
Yeah,
episodes in.
yeah.
Not even that.
So
I watched the first two, and I was like, yeah, I know who it is.
I will admit I thought something else was going on with the bad guy, but I still guessed the right bad guy. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still knew
We
who was
won't
the
spoil
bad
it.
guy. I just guessed it the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I wanted to
so
like it too. I was kind of excited
I
for it.
did.
It went.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe too
I
many
actually
hands in the
liked
pot. I don't know.
I actually liked some of the actors too. The person who plays the dwarf, I freaking loved uh Doran. Dear I think it's Doran. Anyways, I
Yeah,
liked
they were
him.
pretty good. They were
I
all right.
thought the character that did him, the actor that did him did a really good job. The guy who played the black elf, there were times where I was like, "Oh my god, this is Legolas." Like,
Mm-hmm.
but there were other times where I actually got interested in his character. Like, "Oh, I wonder what's actually gonna happen with him." I mean, so, like, I wanted to like it. I did. But
I'll say it again too. I brought it up in the previous episode. The Harfoots. I think they could have just cut that whole line. And that they tried to tie it in and everything, but like if you cut that
I
down, make the episodes a little bit shorter, maybe it would have been a little bit better paced.
Yeah, that whole thing with them and now after watching it, Kyle, I can agree with you. Like, if I had never watched it and you had said something like that, I would have been like, "Oh, come on, you don't know what you're talking about." Like,
Yeah,
you gotta have them in there. But, like,
I
now
get.
watching it, I'm kinda like,
I
"Yeah,
think.
you didn't need that."
Well,
Like, you really
I think.
didn't.
I think you just said it though. I think when they were making it, they probably said we got to have him in there, right? Like
Yeah.
because of how great they were in the movies
Mhm.
and how fun
Yeah,
they
we need our
are.
Well, I
hobbit.
mean, when you think of Lord of the Rings, you think of the Hobbits. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
you
the
do.
first thing I think
Right.
of. That's what I want to see.
You do, but you can do something different. Just like when you think of Star Wars, the first thing you think of is Anakin and
I was gonna say Luke.
the Force.
Yeah,
Okay, or
I would
Luke.
have said Luke.
Well, let me put it this way: the first thing you think of is Skywalker.
Oh
Yeah, okay,
well.
Like,
I get what you're saying there. Yeah, I've been
so
very adamant on not wanting any
So
more Skywalker
so
for a while.
Ben Solo, he's technically Skywalker. I'm sorry. Anyways,
no, but yeah, so that was my thing about it. If you want to watch it, watch it. I'm not saying it's so
Uh,
bad you need to stay away from it, but
yeah.
uh,
I wouldn't say you need to go out of your way to see. You're not missing any part
yeah,
of Tolkien lore by not watching it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Are you gonna
I've
watch
been
it, Alan?
watching. Yeah, so that's I was talking to Tomas a little bit earlier about it. I just haven't been able, and haven't been able to get into any like serious shows recently. Like I want to go back to Andor really bad, but I can't like get my mind into a space where I'm okay watching like a show that I need to pay attention to,
Mhm.
like
Mm-hmm.
really focus on right now. So like I've been that was one where we got like 30 minutes in and I've been meaning to go back, but I don't know when because I also want to go to Game of Thrones. And I
Yeah,
think
I
from what
heard
I
that
keep
was
hearing,
pretty
Game of
good.
Thrones is better. So I may just
Yeah,
try to, if I'm going to focus on it,
I
go to
would.
that one.
I would. If you were going to focus on one, from what I've heard, I would go with that one.
Yeah. So that's kind of where, so that's where I'm at. I want to watch it, but there's just too much out that I'm just,
Yeah. Well,
drowning over here.
I'm cutting out Star Wars. I'm not going to do Andor. You can
I've
give me
been
the
Andor's been really
spoilers.
good. That's why I want to go back. And but yeah, I mean I understand because they also have that the Jedi show, which I want to
Yeah,
watch as well. But
I'm not
I
doing it.
again, I
I'm
just
done.
don't feel like doing it right now. I'm not in a Star Wars mood right now, so that doesn't help
Yeah.
either. So
I think I'm cutting out Marvel as well. Like I
Yeah.
See,
don't think I'm going to do it.
I can't cut out Marvel because I actually really like Marvel. Even
I
now,
might do
I'm
the
still
holiday
liking
special
Marvel.
because you sell it, but
Yeah,
that's
Are you
that's
not gonna
fine.
see Wakanda Forever?
No, maybe when it
Really?
comes on the app.
yeah. I had like a free day on Saturday, and I thought about gonna go see Wakanda, but I was like, but it's gonna come to the app, and
Yeah.
do I really care about it right now?
See, it's
And I
like
just didn't feel like it.
it's not that appealing anymore. It's like, yeah.
Mm.
Like usually
Yeah,
it used to be like I need to go see this. Like Spider-Man, I
Yeah.
made sure I went and saw that. And it was worth it. And then I don't know if I told you guys I watched Thor. I finally watched Thor, and I think that was what like kind of pushed me to where I'm at now. I'm like, yeah, this is the
yeah,
worst
it's
Thor
Really?
I've ever seen.
That one was one of the good ones.
no, I don't think it
Oh,
was.
you guys, yeah, you
No,
guys just have your own opinion.
I can't stand him as a character anymore.
Yeah, it
He's
was
just-
kind of like
It's just
weird.
too many jokes. And then the whole
That's the way I felt about Ragnarok, though. Ragnarok
Yeah.
had more jokes.
Ragnarok was way more like there felt like there was more at stake.
No, it
Like
didn't.
this
It felt
one,
like
this
it
one was
felt
just
like
like
everything.
bleh.
No, Ragnarok felt like everything was just this giggle, like a little snicker.
and same
Oh,
with
look,
this
that
one though.
happened.
So this one was just instead
Yeah,
they just went for the full on laughter.
It was
Yeah, but for
a
this one,
rom-com.
yeah, but for this
Yeah, it
one,
was
I
a
was
rom-com.
expecting that, so I was okay with it.
Yeah,
Like,
I couldn't stand it. I was like,
All right.
cringing.
Well,
And
it sounds like we've
so-
moved off the rings.
yeah, we need
I think
to.
Kyle, you
Yeah,
can you
we'll
can
save-
you can close
we'll
us
save.
out with a little
Yeah,
life troubles here.
yeah. We'll shift to reality. So I have had this entire week off from work as a substitute teacher. However, I had 4 basketball games coaching a freshman high school team, and within the time, like, so 4 games in 6 days, which is
Mm.
a lot, and
That's a
then
lot of games.
Thanksgiving, peppered in between there.
Yeah.
So, and I signed up for it. I won't complain about that. I probably won't do this again next year, but I've been coaching 5 years now in a row, the same team, and I've done coaching. I've worked with students, middle school, high school, for the better part, including up at camp with you guys, or with you, Alan, for the better
Mhm.
part of 15 years now, and then
Yeah.
and then I started working at church, and then now I'm working in the schools now, just directly one-on-one with the students. So I love doing it, but I've never been more. I've never come across what happened this week with students. It's just, I won't get into the details. Not that they're going to listen or anything, but um, I've never been so frustrated, and I've never been so stuck. 5 years in, I'm kind of at a point where I know what to do, I know what to say, I know where to take these guys to get them to the next level. But I've never had a situation where I'm at now where I'm like, I don't know what to do, right? And this is probably just a good life lesson. Like, I'm learning as the older I get how much I don't know, if that
Mhm.
makes sense, right? The one
Yeah.
thing I do learn is that I've learned that there's so much I don't know that I'll never know.
Mhm.
And you could specialize in something, but there's so much knowledge to be learned out. There's so much that can happen, and there's so much unexpected things that I was frustrated. And the worst part of it, like, we had a bad game. Kid went off, basically got suspended for the following game whenever we play next. And and I had to take the JV team with me, so we had to wait for them to play. So I just had to sit in that gym. It was an away game. I had to sit in the gym for like 5 hours, and I was just pissed. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say, and
Yeah.
just had to sit through it. But I did that because I didn't want to say anything I would regret, especially to
Yeah.
young men who are still essentially boys, right? Freshmen are
Mhm.
just coming out of middle school. Anyways, I say all that just kind of to vent and say I talked to another coach, I talked to my wife, got different perspectives, and kind of just how what I learned is that talking through it, going through this, like what happened, really really helps without doing a snap judgment. Like, because I was
Yeah.
ready to cut him, I was ready to email, like make the necessary steps, like you're off the team to one of the players. But talking through it now is like, especially with I believe in second chances
Hmm.
quite a bit, and it's like, especially freshmen, like they need second, third, fourth, maybe even fifth chances sometimes, unless it's egregious
Yeah.
and it's the same thing over and over. But yeah, so I guess the thing I've learned this weekend is that expect the unexpected in any profession. I'm 5 years into coaching, thought I knew the ropes, thought I knew was coming up, and and you get thrown something that you just don't see coming, and
Yeah.
just to expect that, and I'm glad I walked away from the situation and cooled off before I said anything or did anything I would regret. And
Yeah.
yeah, we're having a team meeting tomorrow. No practice, just gonna sit down and hash it out with these young men. And I really just, I talked to the kid eventually on the bus ride and said, I want to make you a better basketball player, but I also want you to become a better young man, because
Yeah.
you're going to be in the world, working, going to school or whatever in less than 4 years. So
For
I
sure.
want that to be part of the goal too. So
Yeah, I can feel it, man. It's not the same, but I mean, you're not there yet, but yeah, it's just teenagers in general. There's just a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah,
yeah,
I'm dealing
yeah,
with we're
I'm
dealing with
thinking
that
about
right
that
now.
too.
Just the weird the just the weird changes in attitude, just the drasticness of it, and
Right.
like you don't realize it when you are in that position, but when you're watching it from the exterior, you kind of like start to see even bits of yourself that you were going through at that time, like and how
Mm,
everybody else. No wonder they thought you were crazy, because when you flip
mm,
out over something random or things like that, just
mhm.
Yeah.
it's and you're dealing with a lot of kids with that are all going through the same things, and you're not their
Right.
their parents, so they're not going to treat you
Mhm.
that way. But it's a different atmosphere and respect. So I mean,
Yeah.
you're doing a
Yeah,
good work. You're doing good work as well as ending on, and I hope those kids have at
I
least
appreciate that.
some sort of support at home as well to help
Yeah,
along those things
Yeah.
because you need that, and some kids
that's the
don't.
thing,
So,
man. When you like get to know these kids and learn about it, and you get, some of these kids don't have dads. Some of these kids
Mhm.
don't even live at home. They're living at their friend's house, right? Like,
yeah,
and you start getting that
Yeah.
perspective, it changes the way you coach. Like, and if it doesn't, then you're not in the right profession.
for
So,
Mhm.
sure. All
yeah,
right,
totally agree.
that was a good way to end it. I think that was we went all the crazy and then back down to
Yeah.
earth
Right,
here.
right back
To
to
this big blue marble. All
teenage
right,
Yeah.
well,
drama.
hopefully in 2 weeks we'll talk about some more fun stuff. And we'll see you then. I hope you had a good time, and thanks for listening.
I had a good time.
I did too.
Bye.